X-Cutioner song, part 11. This is X-Men issue 16. Now, to understand this opening panel, we got to go back to X Factor because I didn't really touch on it in the X Factor review because I didn't want to spoil that, but we're moving forward. So, spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen it, go check out that video and come back. Now, the Renegade X-Force team remain prisoners of a shattered dream. Cable, Bishop, and Wolverine have uncovered the location of the kidnapped Cyclops and Jean, far below the surface of the moon. Now, how'd they get there? Initially, Havoc told everyone to stay put. Let me find the doodads here. Hold on. Where it was kind of a running gag that I thought with Peter David, because they essentially order the three to stay put on Grey Malkin. And Wolverine says, "You wouldn't happen to have some beer and a deck of cards around here, would you?" And so we see, where the hell is it? Of course, the moment that I want to show you guys, it disappears. I'll find it. Just got to roll with me for a minute. Right here where we kind of see Wolverine playing cards, Bishop standing off, Cable doing whatever with a knife. Then we get the same repeating panel here. And just live in the midst of all this violence. That's what we see. And then finally, we get the panel for a third time. And Cable goes, "I'm bored. Me too. Let's go. We're gone." And so, against Storm and Havoc's wishes, they teleport onto the Earth's surface. Course of action, Bishop, you have this gift for the obvious, don't you, bub? Oh, and this is one of these panels that just sits in my memory for years and years. Now, I've shared this story several times over the course of the X-Men reviews, where I said my first X-Men books were the X-Men Adventures based on the animated series, and my friend, his mom would just buy him whatever X-Men book was at the grocery store at the time. Yes, the grocery store, that's how old I am. And I'd be reading the animated series, and there's action, the art was good. But then I would see stuff like this, and I look over and go, "Man, that's intense. What's happening over there?" And I'd find myself looking more at what he was reading and paying attention to the animated series books. So, again, living in a small town, comic shops came and went, but comics still, thankfully, before the whole direct market thing took over, still went to grocery stores. So I started grabbing these. And this was the book that cemented my love for X-Men and kind of got away from the adventures. I started realizing how I started watering it down for kids. It says, "For these three hard-bitten men of war, further talk is unnecessary. They know they are outnumbered, overwhelmed, and they know, too, that they are the best at what they do. The armored soldiers of the Mutant Liberation Front react far too slowly, as do the gene spawns of Apocalypse's Dark Riders, who now serve a new master. Madman ripped through time who engineered this titanic battle, Stryfe. That moment's uncertainty is all these star-crossed soldiers of fortune need to press their attack." Boom. Gorgeous splash page with just enough dialogue to set the scene and get you excited for this particular issue. This is Fabian Nicieza, writer, all the pages. Andy Kubert, penciler and inking on pages 20 through 23. Mark Pennington, inker, everything else. Chris Yiannopoulos, letter. Joe Rosas doing the coloring. Bob Harris, editor. And Tom DeFalco, editor-in-chief. So a lot of big freaking names on this book. And Logan just says, "Don't even stop to think. Just tear into them and pick up the pieces later." And Bishop's like, "He's not listening, Cable. I know, too caught up in one of his berserker rages." "No, I'm not. I'm just not going to waste my time, John, while you two replay the Alamo." And he gets hit. Boom. And now this was the other panel that I saw in my friend's book that I was like, damn, I want to start reading this. We see Bishop here. "Little good it did us. We're completely surrounded with no means of retreat and no desire to surrender either. Logan, hold on. Ribs shattered, punctured a lung. Healing factor kicking in. So that means you'll be nice and healthy when we're overrun and killed." I've always loved Cable's deadpan humor. It's enough to see that he's a battle-hardened hero, but enough to just screw it. We're going to die, so I'm going to have fun with it. But, of course, the X-Men show up. Gorgeous artwork style. In the sights of their allies along their enemy Apocalypse surprises the beleaguered trio. It's more than offset by the relief that they feel at the timely rescue. And so this book is just action. Ripping through the rest of the MLF force. Stryfe, realizing that pawns are moving, he goes, time is but a puzzle, and we place the pieces where we see it, as awkwardly as I imagine, as the analogues I spout. I find it unsettling, Zero, that after so long, after years built upon years of planning, that I sit here a spectator to the very events I manufactured. Odder still that I should have manufactured my own past at all, isn't it? And again, I miss the Shakespearean style. And okay, people say, well, Shakespearean, that's aiming a little too high. Okay. This more like traditional playwright style writing. How about that? I don't see that in a lot of writing anymore, and I miss it. You can see how writers during this time would look back at classics, and then people that came before them, like Chris Claremont, and of course, writers at this time, of course, elude my mind. But you get the point of what I'm trying to say here. I miss stuff like this so much. And of course, we get a moment with Xavier, and he has a premonition about what's going on. And again, more amazing action and artwork. And I love how Apocalypse goes away. He's like, my work with you people are done. I'm going to find my Dark Riders to basically set them straight. He goes, weak, still so weak. Press on, be strong. Ah, you found us, Father. Just the way you wanted us, ready to fight, to win. You made us, now we unmake you. This completes the cycle you taught us to live by. Very well then, my Dark Riders, to the survival of the fittest, to the death. And before we can even get more action, we cut away. Because here, everyone's trying to find Scott and Jean. And here, you can see we have Lorna, Havoc, Cannonball, and Bishop, Cable. They're trying to scour the surface of the moon, trying to find his brother, essentially, and his sister-in-law, I guess you could call her. And when Xavier wakes up and has this premonition, he goes, inside the machine, the virus did it. Inside the machine is a man. Cable and Stryfe and Apocalypse, Sinister, Scott and Jean, I saw them inside and out. Scott and Jean and Cable and Stryfe, all of them linked to us in love and hate, but most of all linked to each other. Now there's a stasis filled up when they finally find Cyclops and Jean, and there's only a select few who can go through this force field. What does that mean? Well, I highly recommend that you guys go pick up X-Men issue 16. This book was phenomenal, and this was probably one of the first X-Men books that I picked up. Like I've talked about how some of the Uncannies were my first, yes, but I didn't really read them. This is the one where I actually dove in head first and really got into X-Men, was this particular issue. So it always stands out in my mind for that reason. So if you've enjoyed what you see, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever there's going to get your action figures and comics and get these individual floppies or the collected trade, or support your local library like I've been doing. Speaking of, once we finish this, we've already gone over Fatal Attractions, and then we're going to go backwards a little bit, and there's going to be an awesome X-Men event that we'll be going over here in the near future. So if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little Summers bell, next subscribe. That was like typical content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you on hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.